What is up, all of you out there on YouTube? It is I, Austin, and join with me in this long-awaited top 5 are, of course, my co-stars Alex, 8Bizzle90, and Lucas, LC Muscles 28. Don't. This summer has been quite the best summer in terms of the movie season that we have in quite some time, so just like last year, yep, we are bringing it back. Top 5 summer films of 2014, and Joe is not in this, but he has off camera, actually. He's the
Say
facts
hi,
guy.
Joe!
I'm the facts guy, just in case anybody screws up with facts.
Facts
And
are good.
I am in behind the camera.
Wait, guys.
And change the cameraman, yes.
Wait,
Yes.
what? The more you know. Joe is the facts.
Just like last summer, we're doing the top 5 summer films of the year, the biggest surprise of the summer, the most disappointing, and of course, yep, just like you thought, the biggest pile of shit this summer. So, shall we begin?
Number 5. My number 5 is a movie that I saw with my dad and kind of with Lucas. I saw a little bit of it with Lucas.
You walked out of it?
No. Let me explain.
Yeah,
Let me explain, because my number 5 is the Fluffy movie.
Oh, yes!
My number 5 is the Fluffy movie.
I want to
Yes,
see it.
hell yes.
I would love to see
Yes,
it. Please.
Gabriel Iglesias, his stand-up special, 10 times much better than Kevin Hart's special, by far.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
What? The Fluffy movie's in your top 5?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go
I
for
enjoyed
it.
it. The only bad thing is that most of the material that he did is that the stuff that we saw at
Live.
the Improv live when he was there in 3 months ago. Wait, no,
It was January. It was in
January, so it was still hilarious. That's why it's my number 5.
I'm still blown away that the Fluffy movie's number 5, to be honest with you. My number 5 is a movie that I originally gave a 5 out of 5 to, but the rating has since gone down after a long thought of it, and my number 5 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, wow.
That's my number 5, yeah. I mean, I loved Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I was really looking forward to Dawn, and Dawn was truly a fantastic movie. The only criticism I have now is that the third act was completely predictable. But Andy Serkis, once again, is a motion capture pioneer. He is the god of motion capture, really. Matt Reeves did an incredible job with directing this movie. The guy who did the cinematography for the third Harry Potter movie did the camera work for this, and it looked absolutely stunning. I just can't wait for the next Planet of the Apes movie. Enough said. That's why it's my number 5.
My number 5
Too short for that.
is a movie that I really enjoyed. I saw this with the Putnam crew, and this movie just blew me away with how awesome it was, how the acting was, how the fight scenes, everything was. This may have gone down a little bit in ratings, but it's still a fantastic movie. Number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm surprised.
That's number 5?
I'm surprised that's your number 5.
Wait a second. He said he gave it a 5 out of 5 on all of us.
I'm actually dropped my rating down a little bit. Guardians of the Galaxy,
we'll get to that.
no matter what people think, this is still a fantastic. This is definitely one of my top 5 favorite. This is one of my favorite films of the year. Top 10,
wow.
definitely. This film is just out of this world. Literally, it's out of this world. This film just blew me away of how awesome it was. I'm really excited to see what they do for the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And when I got home, I researched more about the Guardians of the Galaxy, including watching the Avengers meet the Guardians of the Galaxy on.
There was a comic, I believe.
It was a
that.
comic, and there was also an episode on TV about it from the Avengers show.
I cannot wait to see that when it comes.
That's why it's my number 5.
Number 4. My number 4 is a movie that I saw in May, I want to say.
Oh, I know what it is then.
It is Godzilla.
I knew it. Godzilla is a damn good movie.
It was a great freaking movie.
Damn good movie.
Great monster movie. Although I will say I am slightly disappointed that Cranston was only in there for like
Same.
15 minutes. But either way, it was a badass movie. It was a lot of monsters, a lot of
the ending fights
blowing shit up. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Godzilla scream!
Oh my god, that gave me the chills.
When you first heard that.
Oh.
Woo!
Cynicism everywhere.
Yeah, simply put, that's my number 4.
My number 4, this came out in June. I was really looking forward to this because I loved the first one. And comedy sequels never do too well. If you couldn't guess already, my number 4 is 22 Jump Street. 22 Jump Street is one of those comedy sequels. And
Wait a minute, Austin. It's my number 4 as well.
22 Jump Street, when you think of comedy sequels, how many of them can you think of that are even better than the original?
None!
When it comes to comedy sequels, they're literally slim to none comedy sequels that ever do as good as the original. And 22 Jump Street is one of those few that completely
annihilated the first.
Not only just that, it made fun of the fact that it was a sequel.
Absolutely,
that's what I loved about it.
I love the ending too. Like people have seen. If you haven't seen the end, I think let
me just say this: it's a big fuck you to franchise. It
is pretty much a big fuck you to franchise.
Yeah, Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum have that same romantic chemistry, and it even improves upon itself.
It improves dramatically.
Yeah, the jokes are even better this time.
They are so many better.
This is the year Phil Lord and Chris Miller, aka the directors of the Lego Movie. Yes, fun fact, by the way.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, right. Literally, it's how a comedy sequel should be done.
Absolutely, I would agree more. This movie, with all the scenes and everything, especially with the one chick turning around and being the main villain and the running organization. That pretty much was a big
Jonah Hill with the poetry night.
Joey Hill with the poetry. That was hilarious.
I'm gonna kill you, Doug.
And then it has like all the emojis that are like freaking guns and mad faces and everything.
I would think I was howling with laughter that entire
It was
scene.
hilarious. I was dying from laughter from
But yeah, 22 Jump Street overall, just like I said before, it's the way a comedy sequel should be done, and it's one of those rare comedy sequels that actually is good. It's one of my favorite films of the year.
Same here, man.
It's in my top 5 favorite films of the year so far. 22 Jump Street is just the best comedy of the year so far.
Same here, man.
That's why it's on number 4.
Okay, my number 3 is 22 Jump Street. You guys explained it. That's why it's my number 3. Move on.
My number 3, again, this came out in the first week of June. At first, I wasn't really looking forward to this, but after I seen the good reviews from the Schmoes and Jeremy Johns, who Jeremy Johns called this Hotline Miami meets Groundhog Day. In a nutshell, Edge of Tomorrow is my number 3.
Wow, I actually did not see this.
Try again.
Edge of Tomorrow is what defines, well, not quite. My number 1 defines the summer blockbuster, but this was pretty damn close to being up there. This movie proves that Tom Cruise can still carry a summer blockbuster on his shoulders, even after Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. If you haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow, it's definitely one of the most underrated films of the year, and by that I mean it wasn't seen. It just, no one saw it. Because, why? Because it looked like Oblivion, which, by the way, to everyone out there,
it was not.
This was not Oblivion.
Alright, another reason?
Why?
Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, and the Fault in Our Stars. Yeah, I mean, as much as I really liked Fault in Our Stars, I give that a 4 out of 5. I really dug that movie. If a teen romance novel is coming out on the same weekend as a summer blockbuster, it's obviously going to go to the teen romance novel. It's pretty obvious. This was quite the surprise. It was full of action and had a lot of surprisingly well done humor in it. But anyways, that is why Edge of Tomorrow is my number 3.
Number 3 for me is another sequel. This film, I did not see it the first before seeing this one. I actually was surprised at how great this movie was despite not seeing the original. And now that I saw the original, this film, now that I look at it, is even better. Number 3 is How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Oh, very good choice.
Thanks. This film,
very good choice.
This film pretty
Amazing
much
movie.
stuck with me since I started watching it. This film just took me into like it immersed me into the movie.
Amazing movie. Amazing.
It was so well done, graphically animated.
3D was really well done.
Jay Baruchel, Gerard Butler,
Jonah Hill,
and
a few others.
And there were a few other cameos in the movie. This film just had excellent acting. The dragons were freaking awesome because of how powerful they could get. And you get to see from the first story, like to get to reveal more details about Jay's family.
I got a 4.5.
This is one of my top 5 films of the summer, and that's why it's my number 3.
Number 2. It was really tough for me between number 2 and number 1 because number 2 and number 1 kept flipping back and forth between which position was which, but I ultimately decided to go with number 2 being Guardians of the Galaxy.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I will say the major gripe, the reason why this is not my number 1 because of the villain. It was a huge disappointment. If it was just Thanos, then it would have been just awesome.
No.
Then it would have been fine.
You wouldn't needed a villain.
It would have been fine if it was just Thanos. Yeah, so Guardians of the Galaxy is my number 2.
My number 2, like Alex, my number 2 and my number 1, I was flip-flopping them back and forth. Ultimately, how I rank these is how much fun I had this summer. And number 2, I didn't have quite as much fun as number 1 because this one had a lot more heart in it. My number 2 goes to X-Men Days of Future Past.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though my number one isn't my favorite film of the year so far, this is still my favorite film of the year so far because I didn't have a lot of fun. I was just more engaged in the storyline. But anyways, it is my favorite superhero movie of all time now. Bryan Singer did such an amazing job balancing all these characters together. And after the series was almost butt-fucked entirely by Brett Ratner.
Ew.
And also by X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah, exactly. The Wolverine did kind of put it back into perspective, and Matthew Vaughn brought it even more back with First Class, which was my favorite X-Men until this one. Bryan Singer just came back in and was like, step aside, bitches. I'm gonna just rewrite the entire franchise, and I am going to just blow all of your minds, which he did with this
Get out
one.
my way.
Pretty much, yes. The movie exceeded my expectations in every aspect. It was such an emotional thrill ride the entire time. I know the way I'm describing this, I know you guys are saying, why isn't this your number one? Well, you guys may already know what my number one is, but with this one, it's just, oh god, I really had a hard time flip-flop. I really did. As an X-Men movie, all I can say is this: after the post-credit scene, I am dying waiting for X-Men Apocalypse now. I cannot wait to see what they... After I explained to you what the main villain was, yeah, that's why it's my number two.
Number two for me is a film you guys both have mentioned in your list, I'm pretty sure. Number two is a film that is another sequel. This one featured some of the most amazing cinematography, most amazing CGI, most amazing motion capture work.
Oh, I got it.
I literally could not believe my eyes when I first saw it. Number two is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
I knew it.
You know what? I was starting to type that down in your list even before you said it.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. My god, this movie is just beyond amazing. How well it's shot. It's just... This movie had Andy Serkis in it. Andy Serkis deserves a freaking Oscar, for God's sake.
Yes, wake up, Academy.
Koba, the main villain in the movie, was amazing.
Work.
He literally stole the show because you would never think of that.
Give me the chills.
You would never think of that from him because he played innocent until he finally chosen to rise to become the leader of the apes until Caesar came back and kicked his ass, if you guys haven't seen the movie. And that's why it's my number two.
It's number one.
Okay, my number one is a movie that I had the best theater experience I've had in a long time, and the only movie on this list that I gave a 5 out of 5 to.
Oh shit.
And it is Edge of Tomorrow.
Wow.
Yes, I actually love the movie. I
loved it as well.
Holy shit.
Yes, I actually love the story behind this. Tom Cruise is back. When's the last time Tom Cruise was in a excellent movie?
Or the World War.
Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Summer movie.
Mission Impossible 4.
Or the World.
This is his resurgence to this. Everything about this movie was freaking phenomenal. That's why it's my numero uno.
My number one summer film, you know, that you guys can already call this out.
Okay.
Because when it comes to summer, I just want to have so much fun. And like with Alex and with Edge of Tomorrow, I had the most fun in summer seeing this. And you know, and a song could explain this. Ooga, 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 chaka. Number one, if you couldn't guess already, is Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm actually surprised you put that as
You know what? Because you know what? When it comes to summer films, this movie, that when I saw the trailer for it, all I got was a fun vibe, and that's all I wanted, and that, you know what, I had a kick-ass time. This was a movie I did not want to end at all. Not to mention the IMAX 3D experience was absolutely incredible. Knowing that James Gunn personally chose the spots where the IMAX conversion would be in there, that's a guy that has a lot of faith. All the cast completely sold it.
Even Batista.
Yeah, even Batista. Seriously, when can you say that about a wrestler turned actor? Chris Pratt killed it as Star-Lord. Zoe Saldana as Gamora killed it. Vin Diesel as Groot. Of course, David Bautista as Drax the Destroyer. But of course, to me, the showstealer Rocket Raccoon, Bradley Cooper. Oh my God, Bradley Cooper was... There was no words to describe how amazing his performance was. This movie had amazing action, amazing special effects, some of the best 3D conversion I have probably seen since Gravity, an amazing IMAX experience, just an overall a kick-ass time in the theaters. I absolutely love this movie. Again, the only reason I did give it a 4.5 out of 5, the only reason why is because Lee Pace just wasn't threatening enough. He was obvious in the movie. He was great in the movie. He just, when it came to actually being a threatening force it didn't feel threatening enough.
Exactly.
He was threatening at times with his acting, but when it actually came to being a physical demeanor, it just didn't feel that way. The soundtrack, you know, Cherry Bomb. Yeah, I love that song now. You know, and like I said,
ooh, child, things gonna get
yeah, I'm distracting you. I cannot wait to see the sequel now, and James Gunn, I've heard, is coming back to do the sequel, and I cannot wait to see a future crossover. Yes, I can't wait to see a future crossover between the Avengers and the Guardians going up against Thanos. That is going to be incredible, and that's why Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite film of the summer.
My number one, if you guys have been following me and Austin's videos, you know this video is very well loved. Like, this movie is very well loved and very well entertained. This movie is just amazing. Number one is Tammy. Psych! It's X-Men Days of Future Past.
I fucking knew it. I could see the smile on your face before we started recording.
Number one, X-Men Days of Future Past. It's just absolutely amazing how well this movie is. I'm not a big X-Men guy myself. I'm not a big comic book movie guy like myself, but this movie really brought me into that comic book lore and X-Men lore. X-Men Days of Future Past, when I saw it with Austin and my cousins, that was amazing. I loved it. It was one of my top films of the year in 2011.
Oh,
this film,
X-Men
however,
First Class. Yeah, I loved that movie. Oh my god.
This time, however, X-Men Days of Future Past blew my mind out of the fucking water. I had such a great experience with it, watching with Austin. This film is just an amazing movie all around. There's really no faults at all. Everyone was good in the movie. Even Vern Troyer was good in the movie.
You mean, no, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, that's what I meant to say.
There's completely different actors.
Everyone in this movie was just outstanding, especially Magneto. This is one of my top favorite films of the year.
It's my number one so far.
If not my number one. I cannot wait for Bryan Singer to do the next film. And that's my number one summer film of 2014.
Surprisingly good!
Alright, now we get to most surprising film of the summer, and I believe me and Austin have the same one.
Oh god, I have been flipping and flopping with this one back and forth so much.
Yeah, same here, but I ultimately went with Let's Be Cops.
Yeah, I blended almost took it. Let's Be Cops looked like a complete ripoff of 21 Jump Street and 23 Jump Street, but it did not, that was not the case because it was just a bunch of guys that were believing to be cops.
Pretty much.
But then they got themselves into some real shit at pretending to be cops.
Oh yeah.
It really did surprise me, honestly.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I
thought it was going to be absolutely stupid.
I didn't think it was hysterical, but I laughed here and there. Like it surprised me because I didn't think I was gonna laugh at all, but I laughed actually a few times.
Especially at the screening, the place was packed. Everybody was dying with laughter.
The chemistry was great between Jake Johnson and Damon Wayans Jr.
Who looks a lot like his father.
Yeah, he takes a lot from him too, apparently. While some parts were very cliche in the movie to me, it really was a surprise because I did not expect to like it as much as I did. But I had a fun time with it, surprisingly. Oh, yeah. Luke Greenfield, this was his first Korean screenplay, didn't do a bad job with it. There was one that could be summed up in a Jackass skit. Enough said.
Yeah.
My most surprising is actually going to surprise both of you. This film is a sequel. Not many people thought were going to be good, and critics panned this movie. They really did not like this movie because of some many things.
Okay.
My most surprising film this summer is The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing. Really? I liked it, but oh my god. Amazing. Holy shit. You really did surprise me on that one. Joe in the back.
Okay?
This is just like painting game last. Everyone walked out except we're all staying in here going like, what the fuck is going on? And Joe's lying down.
He's on the floor now.
I need 50 cc stat.
Okay.
CC's of what?
Anyways,
Anything.
I actually really liked this movie.
You give it a 4.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 because I did not think it was going to be as good as the original. Andrew Garfield did a great job. The Lizard was a great villain. This film is still really good. It still has good on its own merits. And I cannot wait to see what they do for The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Hopefully, it's not as terrible as
the actual third one.
The actual third one.
That was entertaining.
No, it wasn't.
Emo dancing top.
Yeah, we don't talk about that scene.
That's right.
Anyway, this was still a great film on its own merits. It may not be the biggest film to be really highly reviewed, but this film still is good on its own merits. That's my most surprising film this summer.
Oh, shit!
My most disappointing movie of the summer is a movie that I didn't really see too much about. I did see a TV spot for it, and pretty much spoiled the best part of the movie.
Oh, I know what it is.
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, that was. Oh God, I remember that.
Don't
remind me of it.
Can I just say something real quick? Remember how we were saying, oh yeah, Seth MacFarlane's got his debut with Ted. He's gonna do so well.
Oh
yeah.
Wah, wah.
Actually, you know what, Alex? This is my most disappointing as well. God damn it,
Seth
Seth MacFarlane. What did you think with this movie,
This
man?
was not good.
This was really lackluster.
I will say, the only good thing about this movie is the mustache song.
Oh my god.
Neil Patrick Harris was the best part about the
that's
movie.
the only
Neil
good
Patrick
thing about
Harris,
that.
man. My big thing with Seth MacFarlane is I am a huge Seth MacFarlane fan. I love
And you guys
Family
couldn't
Guy.
tell that already.
I love American Dad.
Really?
I like to compare this to a bad episode of Family Guy. This is why I compare it.
No, that's not. No,
You mean
no, stop
every modern
No,
family?
no.
No. Motherfucker. This film
What you did?
is really disappointing. You know, I
It's
gave this
ATV
film
thoughts.
I gave this film a 1. And I stand by it.
But
So
a
did I.
1?
Yeah,
I give like a 2, 2.5.
I gave it a 1.
1.5.
Actually, 1.5 I gave it.
Wow. My most disappointing film of the summer. I was really looking forward to this movie after seeing such an amazing cast of people. Not really an amazing cast, but like an orgy of all these action stars. Didn't like the first one. The second one was so awesome, but the third one... Oh, my most disappointing film of summer 2014 is The Expendables 3.
I knew it. I figured.
Oh god, I was really looking forward to this one. When your third film opens with an action scene that's actually lackluster compared to the second one, yes, a few action scenes here and there were good, but here's the thing. When you take two of my favorite Expendables, which I think all of us can agree were the most fun out of them all was Terry Crews. When you sideline him after the first action scene and put him back in the last 5 minutes of the movie, Jet Li, okay? Jet Li, who is my favorite hand. I was so excited to see him back in this one. He's barely even in the fucking movie.
Vin was pissed.
I bet he was. He didn't even have a fight scene in this movie.
Wow.
Not even
bet
a
he
fight
was.
scene.
What do you think about Ronda Rousey, Austin?
She sucked ass. This the guy that's supposed to direct the remake of The Raid? Stay the fuck away from The Raid.
Why is there a remake?
I don't know why. Even the final fights between Mel Gibson and Sylvester Stallone was so anticlimactic. Remember when Sylvester Stallone fought Jean-Claude Van Damme? He used a metal chain and whipped his ass? What happens here? Mel Gibson gets shot a few times. That's it. This is an example of quantity not always over quality. Quality is always better than quantity. And that is why it's my most disappointing film of summer 2014. Alright guys, we've hit the time that you guys have always been waiting for. Yes.
Even
Here we go. Of course they have them, Lucas. Yes, it is time for the shit stains of the summer movie season of 2014.
My worst is starring an actor who was great in a movie. Now is slowly declining ever since. And this is definitely the low point of her career.
Oh god.
My worst movie is Tammy.
Yep, mine too.
Tammy. Where can I start with Tammy?
Never.
This movie.
No, that's not
Oh,
my worst. That's not my worst.
That
This
was
movie
horrible.
is just so bad at so many
Horrible.
levels. This Melissa McCarthy, you were
horrible.
so funny in Bridesmaids.
That
What were
was-
you doing in this
Wasn't
movie?
bad and the heat.
That was
And the heat. And the heat.
That was
Why?
2 years ago.
What? No, the heat was last year.
Oh, it was
dude.
last
One of the dumbest scenes I think in the movie was the bee scene. It was like where he goes, "No, I had a bee." There are no bees
There's
around
a
here.
bee.
man. It's
No,
like no,
no.
I didn't. I sat there while everyone else laughed. I was like, "That's not funny."
No, the lesbian camp.
Lesbian.
Lesbian camp.
Lesbian.
Yes.
Yeah, the L word, Shane. The L word.
That's so bad. This movie
So
just is really lackluster. This movie is just not funny, not entertaining. This movie sucks the devil's dick. This is one of the worst comedies I've
My
seen in a long
godmother,
time.
my godmother Molly actually walked out of it. It was so
Really?
bad.
Oh. Okay, that's why Tammy's my worst.
Mine too.
summer-
My worst? Oh, I definitely kicks both of yours
No, it
out
doesn't.
so much.
We'll see
Oh, I
about
think I
that.
might know
If
it.
it's
Alright.
the one I'm thinking of.
I think it is, Joe. I was not looking forward to
Yep.
this first place, but Joe told me we were seeing this in IMAX 3D. He told me we were seeing this, and I was like, fuck it. I like the first one. The next two,
Oh boy, more sequels.
The shit stain of the summer goes to Transformers: Age of Extinction.
That's right.
How dare
Thank
you.
God I skipped on this one too.
Hey, he had to see this. He had to.
Why? Michael Bay just fuck off. I will say this, the only thing good was Mark Wahlberg because here's the thing, Shia LaBeouf would run around and scream like a little bitch and wouldn't help. Mark Wahlberg actually help out. He would help out. When it comes to Michael Bay, you can't expect anything out of this. You really cannot. I was just going, I'm just gonna shit all over this movie, which I ended up doing in the review with Joe. And by the way, I love seeing IMAX 3D movies, especially when they're shot that way. This was probably the worst IMAX 3D experience I've ever had in my life. Not only did it actually hurt my eyes, they didn't even use the IMAX to their full potential. Here's the thing, they kept on using the friggin' IMAX for the dialogue scenes. It just went 35mm IMAX. When it comes to Michael Bay, there's one reason why we all look forward to it, because of his action scenes.
Explosions.
Oh god, here's the
Explosions
thing.
and
With
hot girls.
245 minutes,
Explosions and hot
this movie felt like it was 4 hours long. It just kept going on and on and on. Just with the boom, 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 boom. Boom! That's what the movie was the entire time. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes of straight up booms the whole fucking time. If Michael Bay wanted a total orgy of explosions, you accomplished it, but also, and it's the worst action. I couldn't tell what was going on still. If you want to see proper robots fighting proper monsters, watch Pacific Rim. It was like literally the first time that $16 was spent, and which I completely regretted. I was bored, I almost fell asleep a few times in this movie, considering it was an IMAX movie.
Why did you guys see this in IMAX?
Because it was shot that way.
Yeah, it was shot that way.
If it's shot that way, I will see it in IMAX
Actually,
regardless.
Austin.
And that is why Transformers: Age of Extinction is my shit stain of the summer. Michael Bay.
You done fucked up again.
Those were the top 5 summer films of 2014, the most surprising, most disappointing, and of course the shit stains of the summer movie season so far. Comment and let us know below. What were your top 5 favorite films of this summer? Most disappointing, you know the drill. This has been the best summer season since, I'd say, 2012 or maybe even before that.
Absolutely, I agree.
But until the next top 5 video, we will see you guys next time.